So sings my soul. Praise my God of love and life. So sings my soul.
Participating. And this morning, speaking about the word participating, here's what's going to happen. Our beautiful singer, great voice, Jennifer, has no voice to sing this morning. She's here. I think she's still here. And what we're going to do is change up things a little bit. So where Jennifer used to sing all the songs, guess who is going to sing all the songs? All of us. So we're handing out the words, the lyrics for these songs. And instead of the congregational song that she was going to sing, which is a little difficult for us to do, we're going to sing that copy of I Come to the Garden Alone. There is you remember our drummer, Quinton, that was here? Quinton called it the Andy song. And, and the reason I call it Andy song is because the little boy went to Sunday school, and they said, well, what did you learn? You learn about Jesus? And he says, no, I learned about Andy. He says, Andy? Yes, Andy. Andy walks with me, Andy talks with me. So just know that today we're going to sing that kind of song that Andy has. But, we still have Rob right here on the piano, which is great to have him. We have Elizabeth Turner, we have Pat Gentry, and Dominique, and what am I missing? Denara. The two D's up there, the two great D's up there. And they're going to be with us and you all. So shall we stand and sing the song? Andy. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses. And he walks with me and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we we tarry there, none other has ever known. He speaks and the sound of his voice is so sweet, the birds are still singing, and the melody that he gave to me in my heart is ringing. And he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, never has ever known. Wow, you're in fine voice. Please be seated. Thank you. Elizabeth?
Yes.
I think it's your turn.
My turn.
Your turn.
Good morning, good morning. It's my turn. So good to see you all this morning. So good on this beautiful fourth Sunday of Lent, you know. I have a few announcements we're going to go over real quick here. Won't take long, but I'm always glad to see everyone here and look into your beautiful faces, see your smiles, and the smiles in your eyes even. Oh, it's beautiful. It just energizes me more, as though I need more, but a little bit more. And for those of you online, welcome with your consciousness. We welcome you here this morning. So for the announcements that I'm going to share with you this morning, you know, we always have prayer available here at Founders in the prayer boxes that are out front. You can always place your prayer requests on the prayer card. There is one on the practitioner's table outside. You can fill out that prayer card and drop it in the box, and they will come up here. The two boxes will come up here for Dr. Arthur to pray over those prayers during service today. Or, of course, we have a wonderful practitioner on duty, as we have every Sunday, but this morning we're really pleased to have Ann Reed, practitioner Ann Reed, on duty right down front. Wave your hand, Ann. And she will be available for anyone who needs prayer. Thank you. She will be available for anyone who needs prayer. Also, I want to just mention, on our website, for those of you online, there is a link on our website for prayer requests. You can fill that out online. Also, if you get the the newsletter, the Word, there is a section in the Word where you can scroll down and you can call a number there for prayer as well. So we have many avenues to prayer here at Founders, so that you will never be without the ability to have someone pray with you and for you. Founders offers meditation every Sunday morning from 9:35 to 9:55. This is a beautiful time to enter the silence and deepen your spiritual connection in preparation for the musical interlude at 9:50 and the service that follows. Every Sunday, a practitioner leads the meditation. So if you get here a little bit early, sometimes it's good to come in a little early so that you can just relax, bring the temperature down on the week, everything that's gone on through the week, so that you can get yourself ready for the wonderful service and for the message that Dr. Arthur will bring us on Sunday mornings. It's a wonderful centering, grounding process to anchor you in meditation every Sunday morning. So take advantage of that. We've had it forever, and very few people come out. I know sometimes we're rushing to get here and just get here in time, but try to just get here a little bit early so that you can sit in on it and just to relax and clear your mind of everything you need to let go of. The Mystic Circle Wednesday night Zoom service will resume next Wednesday at 6:30. We welcome back this opportunity to connect with each other and Dr. Arthur by Zoom. A new invitation will be sent out next Tuesday. Contact a staff member or an usher if you need to be added to that group. The meal today is provided by Cheryl Collins and her son, Stephanie Collins. Money donations for food can be left in the donation box on the kitchen counter. Now, another thing I want to mention, this is important, so mark your calendars. Easter, you know, is on April 20th. There will be a special Good Friday service provided by the English and the Spanish practitioners in the chapel at 12 noon on Friday, April 18th. This is our second annual Practitioners Good Friday service. We hope that everyone who is free that day will be able to come, and bring a friend, bring your family. The event is open to the public and has a deep spiritual significance. We had a wonderful service last year, and it will be wonderful this year as well. So please come out on Good Friday if you have an opportunity to do that. Yoga will be led by experienced yoga practitioner Julia Young, and that's going to be in the chapel at 12 noon on Sundays. All are welcome. In the future, bring a towel or a mat and appropriate clothing. Suggested donations, $5. If anyone is here for the very first time, please stand so that we can recognize you. Anyone for the first time? Oh, wonderful. Good morning. Give him a hand. This young man here for the first time. We welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you. We will get a packet to you, a visitor's packet for you this morning. Thank you so much for coming to worship with us this morning, and we hope that you come back. Come downstairs, too, for the fellowship. We want to see you downstairs so we can chit-chat with you and, you know, get to know you a little bit better, and we can certainly introduce ourselves to you. Now, everyone, let's begin to stand so that we can greet each other with a smile and a wave and blow a kiss. Thank you, Rob. That was so nice and spring-like. I loved it. It really is appropriate. Oh, it is for her birthday tomorrow. Well, we have to give her a hand. Yes, let's give her a hand for her birthday tomorrow. For Jennifer's birthday is tomorrow, even though she's not able to be with us to sing this morning.
We could sing a short happy birthday.
Yes, let's do that. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Thank you, Rob, for sharing that. We didn't know that. Thank you so much. So let's do our affirmation at the bottom of our bulletin. I hope the visitor, did they get a bulletin for you? Yes, good. So there's an affirmation at the bottom, and we'd like to do that together. On the front, I'm sorry. On the front of your bulletin, at the bottom. So let's do that together now, shall we? Trusting the process of life intends to support the best in me. I live confidently, always moving towards the good by means of principle, belief, and action. Thank you so much. You may be seated, and so it is.
Well, don't think you're just going to sit there now like a bump on a log. You know, this is your turn. We have to stand again because remember, we're singing what Jennifer would normally be singing, both sides now. You have the music, the words, the lyrics there. If you found it, please stand. We're going to sing together. We're going to do the best we can while Jennifer is away. Ready? When everywhere but now and then and black and night and rain and snow were oh, when the sun they rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I look at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's love's illusion life. I really don't know. Moons and Junes and fairies and dizzy dancing will feel as every fairy tale unreal and looked at love that way. But now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's love's illusion life recall. I really don't know. Tears and fears and feeling proud of the been right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I looked at life that way. But now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say arrange. Well, something lost and something gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life illusion I recall. I really don't know at all. You were wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, you sounded wonderful. That's great. It was so good to hear your voices. Yes. So now what I'm going to do is the reading on the back of your bulletin, and then I will do the meditation prayer. So on the back of your bulletin, Isaiah 43:19. See, I am doing a new thing. I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And from the Science of Mind, 67th chapter, 2nd verse. The account of creation, which says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, does not refer to a time when there was no creation, but rather to the process of an eternal creation, which is a continual manifestation of spirit. An eternal creation is proved by the fact that we must suppose spirit to be conscious intelligence, and there can be no conscious intelligence unless it is conscious of something. Therefore, it must always create. To be spiritual is to create. The spirit is alive, conscious, aware, and active. And with that in mind, I'd like to just invite each and every one under the sound of my voice this morning, those of you here in the sanctuary and those online, to repeat the Lord's Prayer with me, please. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you. Don't you think it's time? Right here and right now, in this very sacred moment, in this very sacred space, I lean into Spirit, sensing the power and the greatness of Spirit in me and through me in this very moment. I know that right where I am, God is. And this is a presence that I can use. And I know it's using me right now to speak my word for each and every one of us here today in the sanctuary, knowing that whatever we came through the doors that was on our mind, we release it and let it go. We know that Spirit is always available. All we need to do is lean into Spirit, because when we lean in, Spirit leans into us. So grateful for each and every one of you who made your way here today, and those of you online who made an effort to be present with us, whether you're watching now or later. I know that Spirit is opening the door of opportunity for each and every one here, for good health and wholeness, and for abundance and prosperity. In good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Because we know that to those that much is given, much is required. We don't get caught up in the appearances of things, what things may appear to be and what they look like. We know that Spirit is opening the door and flooding us with a waterfall of blessings. I speak my word for each and every one in the booth, for those participating in the service in whatever capacity. Wonderful Rob on the piano, blessing us with his gift of music and ministry, and for the ushers and volunteers and those downstairs preparing food now as we have service. Speak my word for Dr. Arthur to strengthen him as he brings his message to us this morning to bless us through and through, a message that God has placed in his heart to share with us. We are so grateful for this opportunity to be here together in spiritual community. I say thank you, infinite Spirit and divine presence. And so it is. Amen and amen. Thank you.
And after Elizabeth Beautiful praying, what we're going to do this time is we won't stand up to sing because these two songs are probably less familiar to us. We're going to let Rob play them as solo, but you have the words. If you wish to sing along with him, you can, but we won't stand and do it. So Rob. Wow. The magnificent playing of Rob Warsner. Thank you, Rob. We are so grateful that you're here, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful day. And it's a wonderful day to think about the science of mind, to think about our lives, to think about the impact it has had on our lives, and how it has invited us to continue to grow and to move along this life as we must. There isn't really a real option other than moving forward. My subject is process is life's way. And I can imagine that all of us can remember those instances of our childhood experiences where our parents, or adopted parents were taking care of us. And we can remember incidents that happened, and we can remember changes that occurred to us at different times as we grow up into being a teen and then into adults, probably going to college, becoming as qualified as many of you are. This is a magnificent thing, and it couldn't happen in your first year, could it? And in your first year, God was there. And you may not have the feeling of God as the abstraction that we take on as we begin to invite more complicated thinking into our concepts. But we had our parents. We had our parents. And we all felt the hands of love, the touch of love. I can imagine how and reimagine how my mother really supported me. One of the things that a couple of the things I really loved was Boy Scouting and being in the Cathedral Boys Choir. It's the Catholic Boys Choir in Jamaica where we sang in Latin. And she supported me in those things. And when it came to playing games, cricket and soccer, all those things. And as time goes on, of course, schooling and all that. And here we are, many years later, in a mature growth aspect of our experience. But we didn't start there. We started where we started. But for the next adventure, and I call it adventure because it's an adventure because we don't really know where our life is going for sure. We can have ideas, we can have vision, we can work toward, but we really don't know until we get there. What we know is what has happened before, and what we know is the present moment where we are right now. And everything that has happened before has influenced the present moment where we are. And just as the present moment and what has happened before is going to influence our future. There is a process to life. And this process is something we're all involved with, whether we want to or not. You go to your doctors perhaps maybe once a year to get a checkup, and more times if there are things that you need to take care of. That's a process. You visit your loved ones, not every day, but you call them as often as you can, and you touch base with them, and you have Christmas, and you have Thanksgiving, and we have Easter, and these special days, the days that we celebrate. They are markers in our lives. They don't come every day. They're part of the process of how we meet the moment and how we remember who we are. And so, the success that we achieve at whatever level is achieved because God's process is in us. And Jesus called this process the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within you. And the kingdom of God marks your infinite potential that you can never use up. And we'll talk more about that. But what you use up is in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind. And as you take from this infinite potential, You put it in the soil, the subjective mind, and it begins to grow and sprout into your experiences, as Ernest Holmes talks about. And so, what are we trying to achieve? We're trying to achieve our best expression of who we are. But our best expression is not some standard that we reach and we say, now we are there. Because life is a continuous creation. Continuous creation. And so, when we think about what the prophet said, he said that, Isaiah, see, I'm doing a new thing. You're paying attention? I'm doing a new thing. And the I am is really God that is doing a new thing. The prophet isn't saying, see, Isaiah is doing a new thing. Remember, the definition, the real definition of prophet is not one who tells you what the future is going to be. That's the general misinformation that we have about prophets. Prophet is one who speaks for God. A prophet is one who speaks for God. And so he's saying, see. God is saying, see. It's through him, of course. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you not perceive that life is change? Life is creativity. I am making a new way in the wilderness. What is the wilderness? The wilderness is what you don't really know. The part of your life you're going toward. You don't really know what it is. It's the future. The wilderness is the future. And sometimes you're overwhelmed by the present, where you can't even sense what the future is going to be. And you're anxious about life. And sometimes you're depressed about life. Because you don't know. And you know you don't know. And there is something in you that knows that it knows and can inform you. And this is where your prayer collapses, your not knowing, into your openness for God to be more fully expressed to you. And Isaiah takes us further. Isaiah says, I'm making a way in the wilderness, in the unknown territories. I'm making a way. I'm making a way so somehow you'll see the way. And he says, I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And what are those streams? Streams of inspiration. Streams of how you come to know in the depth dimension of your life something greater than you are. Not just that you read it in a book. Yes, it's good to read it in a book. But it's not an experience for you until you feel it in your heart. Until you experience it as a transforming power within yourself. A power greater than you. Not what you read about because Ernest Holmes said it or some other great person said it. But it becomes vital in you when you yourself experience it. It's the experience we're talking about. And so the future, which is the wilderness, is now becoming something more tactile, something that you can almost touch and feel. You begin to feel the hopes through your faith, through your acceptance, through the enrichment of the soil of fertility within your mind now that comes from your prayer. And you're there, ready for a transforming moment. It may be a big moment, it may be a small moment. And so, Ernest says in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. But this does not refer to a time when there was no creation, but rather to the process of eternal creation. Process of eternal creation. Life is this process of eternal creation. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with you. It doesn't stop even when we die. It is going on constantly. But what is important to you is that you're alive in it. And you have this power to do something with it. And the question is, Not what it can do, is what I want to do with it. And this is the beautiful freedom God has given us. A freedom for us to make the choices that we can make. Even in the worst of times, just back of it are the best of times. And the best of times is a shift in consciousness from I can't, or I won't, or I'm intimidated, or I'm overwhelmed, to God can through me. God can through me. This is where we stand in a moment of transformation, in a moment of tremendous creation. This is where we stand. So Ernest Holmes goes on to say, the eternal creation is proved by the fact that we must suppose spirit to be conscious intelligence. What does conscious intelligence mean? It means something different from Aristotle's idea of the absoluteness of God. When you're absolute, then there is no constant observation of separate things. But God is also absolute. And this is what I've been trying to tell you for some weeks now. The primordial nature of God is absolute. Absolute means all the things that God can become. But we don't think of God as becoming. But the consequent nature of God, which is what Ernest Holmes is talking about, he doesn't call it that because that word wasn't around when he was around, but he intuited it. This part of God that must be conscious of something. How can you say you pray to God and God knows who you are if God is not conscious of you, separate from God is conscious from your friend or from your family or from a dog or from a tree? God is conscious of everything. But that is that aspect of God, the contingent aspect of God. And so when you have an experience, God is having that experience in God's contingent aspect. Or else God can't know you. If God is just pure and abstract in his primordial aspect, then we mean nothing to God because God can't sense you. But because God has two aspects. The aspect that can know what creation is. That is why, behold, I make all things new. Things, not just abstractions, not just absoluteness, not just eternalness, but the changing things of this life. You are participating in this aspect of God. And that is what is within you. You have a primordial aspect too of all the things you can be, but you will never use it up. So in the moments when you begin to feel that I don't know what to do with life, we need to come to a place where we become still and know that God in me knows what to do, when to do it, where to do it, and how to do it. But it's still in process. It's still in process. Everything in your life is a process. Whether it happens quickly, more quickly, less quickly, it still is a process. Spring will not come again until next year. And nothing you can do can change that. Your prayers can't change that. Summer will come when summer comes, because it's the process. And you're part of this whole process. But in some ways, within your mind, the seasons can all be there. The seasons for creating. The seasons for becoming dormant, becoming still. The winter aspect of your seasons. For you to just become still. So that the worries and the pressure, this is what happened with your contingent mind. It worries. It's concerned. And what is it concerned about? It's concerned about things that it can't do, and it's concerned about things that it can do. And what we have to know is how to navigate such a world. And when we navigate such a world, we understand that the things that we can't do something about, but we're still concerned about it, Stephen Covey calls it the circle of concern. The circle of concern. But there are things you can do something about. And he calls that the circle of influence. And where your success comes in life is for you to make the distinction that God is going to take care of the things I can't control. And with God is going to take care of the things I can control. And you start there with a sense of excitement, with a sense of power, with a sense of creativity, that, okay, I can't do this. I can't stop somebody from breaking into my house, but I can put my bars on if I want, or I can get an alarm system, or I can that. You can do all the things you can do. These I can do. And generally it may likely prevent that. But that's only one of your concerns. The other concern is navigating the wilderness, the future, the things you don't know, that you fear. What about your health? We all have some health challenge, all of us. It's not a challenge that you have with your health that is the problem. It's the challenge that you have with understanding that, see, I make a new thing, which is God. God is making a new thing, a new option, a way for you to express a greater future, a future that is yours. You have this future. What are you going to do with it? And he not only says making a way so that you can see, which is a vision to see, but he says he's going to put a stream. Stream symbolizes what supports life. I'm giving you the flow of life, and you yourself need to have this sense of flow. Don't get stymied by whatever it is you're being stymied by. Develop a flow of life. See the possibilities, because that's what God is putting before you. God is always putting options before you. Options, but when you don't see them, when you don't perceive them, then you lock yourself into this foxhole of what assumes safety, but it's not safety. It's not safety. Safety comes in experiencing what your life is about. Your life is about. And yes, at some point we're going to lose our life. But don't fret about that. Take care of the things you can take care of. It's still a good life. It is the way this life is. I came up with 5 different laws as I was looking at my talk this morning. They're kind of a variation of things I've talked about, but I've never seen them as law before. You can tell me what you think about them. You know, I always told you that there are 5 excellences. There's spiritual, there's mental, there's psychological, there's social, emotional, and environmental. And so this morning it hits me. See, I give you a new thing. I create a new thing. You know, Isaiah is saying that, representing God, I call it the law of spiritual wholeness. The law of spiritual wholeness. To begin to feel whole within your life. Instead of seeing an enemy here, an enemy there, a dislike here, a dislike there. At some point, if it's not all time, take a little time to feel the law of spiritual wholeness. That regardless of how things look contrary, there is a oneness, a wholeness that I have with all things. And just feel what I feel like. Because it's healing. It takes you out of the fear and anxiety of life. And just feel the totality. It's very fluid. It's still. The second one is the law of mental wellness. Mental wellness. And mental wellness is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Be kind to people for God's sake. Be kind. And for your own sake, be kind. Yes, people are going to say things that offend us from time to time, that seem to insult us. Don't quickly go there. A spiritual person needs to understand that mental wellness means you can rise above that. You can rise above that. It's part of your process to rise above that, not stay there. Rise above it. The law of psychological maturity. Hey, come on, grow up. Some of us are so sensitive to every little thing that happens. It's offensive. Well, I'm going to withhold my life because, or my service, or my whatever, because you said something that offended me. Come on, grow up. Somebody's going to say something that offends you even when they don't mean it. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, so you get upset, but get over it quickly. Jesus said, go make up with your enemies before he takes you before the judge who will throw you into prison. You see what I'm saying? This is the process of psychological maturity. The fourth one is the law of social emotional relationality. Don't take it for granted. You know, on a Sunday morning, people today, I'll just stay home. Well, there's no point to going to church. I'll just stay home. I can't make the effort. Don't want to get out of my pajamas. I can watch certain TV programs. You can say that. But the more you say that, the less you're connected, not only to your faith, but to people of like mind. It's very important to understand that healing is part of what you do. Getting up when your body doesn't feel like getting up. That's the time to get up. Because the more you give in to the feeling that I don't want to get up because it's easier to do something else, it's the less vital and strong you become. Get up, challenge yourself. Life is a challenge. It's not a vacation where you sit on a cruise and be overfed with all the food that you shouldn't be eating. Maybe they have good food too, but who wants that? So the idea is, get up anyway, and you do. Thank you, get up. But you're not doing the minister a favor. You're doing yourself and life and God the right thing. The right thing is the right thing to do. And the final law is the law of environmental responsibility. We are killing the earth. We are. So negative? Yes, sometimes things are negative. We are killing the earth. We're doing all the things that the earth is dying on us. And future generation will not have what you had because our generation didn't do what they should do. We have to give it forward. We have to give it forward. And giving it forward means, yes, take care of the little plot where you live, but do what you can to help each other, to help the earth survive. It won't survive if we keep doing all the things we shouldn't do. And you can go online and read about these things. I don't need to tell you about them in church. And so, my friends, it's all part of the process. Can you see it? It's not a bad word. It's the reality of life. Process is a reality of life. The person you were when you walked in here today is not the exact person you are right now. You've made even that little minuscule change. And you will continue to change. You can't detect it, except maybe if you have a bellyache or something like that, and you suddenly, I don't feel so good. Yes, sometimes that can happen. But I'm talking about the normal changes that takes care. This is God's creativity occurring. But you have a lot to do with how this comes upon you and how you come up to it And so this is what my talk is about this morning. You have a primordial pole or aspect that has all the possibilities of your life. Look around and say, what are some of the possibilities I'm still to do? Don't get to a point where you're just tired of doing the things that support you. We all do. We all get tired of cooking after you get to a certain age. We all get tired of going to the supermarket. But what I'm saying to you is, these are the supportive things to support your life. Don't give in to being tired. Look for new ways to do what you used to do. Look for new ways to understand what you're doing. And make yourself as vital and strong as you possibly can be, because you can be. I have more things to talk about here than I can ever talk about. But I think it's time to stop. But my friends, my point is, we have to affirm the good that is in us. When I say affirm the good, that means switching into the consciousness of your primordial nature. Because the good is always there. God is always good. God is absolutely good. And God cannot die. That is part of the primordial nature. And God is always giving to you from the primordial nature. When you make the selection, that's your consequent nature. I am not no longer going to just stay here feeling feeble and feeling like I can't do what I can't do. I'm going to look at what I can do and start there. And I'm going to expand that can do into do more, and to be more, and to become more. Because when I do, I will be creating as God. So, you see, I do a new thing. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is our new thing to share, to bless ourselves in giving. So we're going to ask you to stand and sing the doxology. I can't do without Jennifer. Where's that Jennifer when I need her? All right, shall we stand? Praise to the Lord, we always share. That life is you, with you and me. Praise to the truth that sets us free. Amen. And whether you're here or whether you're viewing from social media, there is a QR code there that you can point your little wonderful magical cell phone on camera and know how to support Founders. Founders need your support. We can't go on without your support. If you hear things here which you will never hear anywhere else, it's because we are Founders. And so it's worth supporting. So don't take it for granted. Support it, and we'll be here for you, okay? At this point, we're going to do our offertory affirmation. So even though you have a copy of it, because of the people online, I'm going to ask you to say it after me. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. You guys need to begin to, come on, take a breath. Take a breath, come on. We need to do this like we mean it. You know, with joy, I release my gift. Knowing it goes forth to bless and to prosper. All those who give and all those who receive. And so it is. You may be seated. Thank you. magnificent one has done it again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know if you understand what it is to have the talent of Rob Warshner playing that piano here for Sunday here. What a gift. What a gift. What a gift. And of course, Miss Jennifer Wallace. Yeah. You know, tell you a little secret. I am trying to share with you where I think Science of Mind will be going, which is not being shared anywhere else. When I talk to you about process science of mind, that's what I'm doing. And some of you may think it's not Ernest Holmes. That's because we begin to associate Ernest Holmes and science of mind too closely. When Ernest Holmes says it's the correlation of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the insight of religion applied to the needs and needs of, and what is it? Aspiration of man. Thank you. Yeah, every now and then one of these fish jumps out of my head and I am looking for, where did it go? The needs and aspiration of man. I'm not trying to change things for the sake of change. I'm trying to bring you what changes have been made that we haven't kept up with. And so what you're learning here from me is what you'll not learn in any other church because nobody else teaches this. And I'm not trying to make myself special in that sense. I'm trying to make what you're learning special. Okay? The people will come and the people will go. That's a reference to me. But the teaching must continue to progress. And it must stay on the cutting edge of science and philosophy, just as Ernest Holmes says. And then religion always changes as our understanding of science and philosophy changes. This has been our history. And this is Ernest Holmes' history. He changed things based on the current science and the current philosophy. There's nothing wrong with what Ernest Holmes did, except that there are more current things now. And if we just keep our eyes glued to just one aspect, this reading I gave you this morning was out of the textbook. Ernest himself said it. So you can see there was something in him speaking about process also. Anyway, just want to let you know that I'm not trying to make it seem like, gee, there's something wrong with science of mind. It's kind of like, the kids grow up on us sometimes, and they mature, and they bring new things to the table of life, right? Yeah. You or teachers see that all the time. And so this kid has grown up in some aspects, and that I'm sharing it with you before this kid is no longer part of this church. So this is what I'm doing, okay? All right. Let's turn within right now and just feel God's presence. Whether we call it the primordial aspect or not, it doesn't matter. This is just for our understanding. But what we do know is that we can directly experience the power and the healing of God in our lives right now. And so we speak this word of power and healing for ourselves, for our health, knowing that every cell, tissue, organ, fibers in our body, in our being, is experiencing a newness, a healing that is taking place, a revitalization. We're feeling this new energy. See, I made a new thing. Can you see it? Can you perceive it? Can you feel that stream of support, like water supporting the wilderness? Can you feel it? As Spirit flows like that water, the living waters that Jesus talked about. Can you feel it? It's in you. It's yours. It's blessing you right now. It's blessing our country. It's blessing our world. It's feeling the wholeness that I spoke about, the spiritual wholeness for all of us, that we are one life, one people, individualized as we are, to express that greatness of God in so many ways. Can you feel this moment as a moment of change within you? Can you know it to be your truth for yourself, for your loved ones, and for all of us together? Let us move into that psychological maturity of realizing that we're not going to sweat the small stuff. We're not going to be so easily offended, but we're going to find that kindness that says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We're going to find that kindness somehow. And so where there could be a reaction to something that is unfavorable, let there be kindness. Let there be love. Let there be a transformation in us. And each time we do this, we will find a quantum leap into our own spirituality, into our own individuality, into our own success in this life. For we know all is well. We speak the word of healing for Jennifer with her voice as she goes to be part of our group this evening. We speak the word of healing for church, the ongoingness of it. And we give thanks that the people who are serving with such open-heartedness. And we know that all is well in God's kingdom. And so I say, thank you, Father, Mother, God. And together let us all affirm, and so it is. Please stand for the benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. The peace that blesses everything, and so it is.